Sunni had their own service, the Shia had their own service, the Jews had their own service, the Catholic. I mean, that's what we preferred. I mean, you prefer to, like, if you're an apple, it's all kind of, if you're a golden apple, you don't want to be on a tree with a Macintosh. I mean, so it's different types of fruit, different types of oranges, different types of lemons. I mean, you can't expect bananas to grow in Pennsylvania. So we understood that science. I mean, and we got in where we fit in. Muslim respects all people, the man respects all people. I mean, and that's how we kept the peace. So that's how we was living for years, actually. I mean, but eventually, the teachings that we were teaching were so dominant. See, keep in mind, we're teaching the black man is God. So when it comes to true part, my crazy behind, I get up there. It's different when you can only break it down in English. See, Josh, Assistant Prime Minister, Joshua Sadiallah, he was an Arabic scholar. He translated his whole Quran. And I mean, for the Nation of Islam. Unfortunately, the devil stole it. I mean, they ain't destroyed it, but they took it. I mean, they stole it from it. It was that valuable to the universal order. They stole a lot of my unpublished books. They love that literature because you got Masons and Shriners. Now, I mean, one day I'm gonna go inside the secret vaults over there and bring out like 10 boxes of stuff and show y'all what level this stuff was on. I mean, but to give you just an inkling, when 911 happened, the FBI came to physically see me. When 911 happened, they came to physically see me. This fair kind of final call on they put on the final call cover are the Muslims in prison of fifth column because these racist politicians over here is lying and using technology and panicking. I mean, it was real crazy. But I was in the hole for years for teaching Al-Balaj Muhammad teachers. Now when I'm looking at the helicopters, and I'm in Pittsburgh at the time, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so they physically flying right over Pittsburgh camp. Now I mean, but the FBI, the IRS, the CIA, they on us on that level, and they telling me to my face like, we read all your books. I mean, I'm like, yeah. I mean, but we don't bite our tongue. It's like, listen, man, I'm not a terrorist. I believe the black man, God, the white man is the devil. I told the FBI, listen, you know what I teach. I mean, now, that it is what it is. I mean, but we don't believe in terrorism because the message is that's not the way of the law. I mean, it's like I don't mess with Osama bin Laden and all that. They spooked out their mind to me. I mean, that's like, come on, man. That's not my kind of Islam. My Islam is the black man. We ain't trying to blow up America. We trying to take back the whole universe. We want the whole planet Earth back. I mean, we putting the father civilization back on top. That's what I live for. You know what I mean? So, but we don't do that through hatred, guns, knives, and all that kind of. That's your stuff. That's Yaku technology. We don't play with steel. You know what I mean? We defend ourselves. You come after us. You know what I mean? We gonna protect ourselves. But we other than that, nah. You know what I mean? So it was. We was on some real level stuff. You know what I mean? Like they really was scared of the Supreme Angels. They was really scared of us. I can tell you that now. Not because we had a bunch of numbers or big muscles or long knives or we was psychopaths. They was afraid of us because we were black gods. We was gods for real. It was no mystery God. They knew it. You know what I mean? And they was like amazed, as a lot of them submitted. Now, I mean, with all due respect, a lot of them white boys, they love the teachers at Al-Balaj. I raised a lot of white people. We had a whole white army with hidden tattoos on their neck that said FOI, a small F, small O, small I. If you looked at me wrong, they gonna act. I have to hold on. Cool out. It's good. They were friends of Islam. They would tell you, look, I can't be God. I know by nature I'm the devil. I bear witness, master Muhammad, the supreme the law, and I Muhammad was the first, last, and only messenger. I mean, and they had their own literature from us. We gave them literature. I got a whole bunch of stuff on all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But that's a whole nother story in and of itself. I mean, but the white Muslims of faith, the messenger covers that, and I'll say as a rise, a whole chapter on that. That for some reason people is just, I don't know why people don't teach the messenger full teachings. A lot of people just teach the political stuff, the economics, the nutritional, the spiritual. The messenger covers all of the sciences of life. And a lot of people it's a lot of leaders that used to write me personally. And they used to be like, bro, why you always signing up for teachings? I'm like, the messenger said in Theology Time, I just want to teach the science. God is the supreme scientist. I'm like, the 24 scientists, like we study the sciences of life. What is y'all teaching? That's what we're supposed to be teaching. We're not sciencing up the teachers. The teachers are science. They are spiritual science, but they nonetheless science. The first law of learning is observation. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of stuff that causes bitter confusion. You know what I mean? And you got a lot of agent provocateurs. Then you got a lot of just jealous-hearted brothers. You know what I mean? Because, they think they could wear your Timberlands. I mean, they be like, oh, I could do that too. And you'd be like, you in the camp by yourself. You the minister over there. Do your thing. They can't. It's not in that. It's not for them to do. You know what I mean? And no matter how much Jonah, like, I try to reject it. You know what I mean? I'm really an anti-socialist type of person. But it's like, I can't stop the will of Allah, gave the person that's for Muhammad. It is what it is. I mean, it's like I have to submit my will to the collective will of our people. You know what I mean? And the struggle continues. So under those types of circumstances, they basically explained to us that there was a lot of animosity growing during this collective Jumu'ah. So they got rid of the West African Iman and brought in our Orthodox scholar from somewhere in these, I don't even know what country, I think it was from Jordan or something like that. And it got so bad, you had, I never forget, good brother, he was a prisoner, he was the Imam, but me and him real good friends, but he was, at that time, he was real spooky. He was deep into the Quran and the Sunnah and all that. I mean, so what he did was he refused to use English during Jumu'ah. His entire khutbah was in pure Arabic, and he knew his Arabic. You know what I mean? And it was like him messing with us, if you will. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay. You know what I mean? So it's like sparring. I mean, you know, we used to box in jail and all that, but if somebody turn it up, or like you just sparring around, but say somebody hit you with a knife, you're like, oh, okay. I mean, are we doing that? I mean, so your thing is like, we ain't really fighting, but I'm gonna pop you back. You just pop me. I'm definitely going to pop. You know what I mean? So we spar with each other on this rostrum. So they turn it up, I turn it up. You know what I mean? You know, they want to get. So I'm really being nice on a certain level. You know what I mean? But it just got to the point where when they turned it up, we turned it up, but we could teach the same thing they was teaching. I'm breaking down. I got stuff like this here. Let me see, where is it at? This is. No, not this one. Let me see. Do I got it somewhere in here? Oh, right here. We doing stuff like this. I don't know if you can see this. This is the dictionary of the Holy Quran, the Arabic words and the English meanings. All right. So this is the kind of stuff we loading up with. Now, whatever word is in the Quran, it gives you the root to that word. how many times it's used in the Quran, the origin of it. It gives you the. I don't know if you can see all this. This is the like the first Arabic dictionaries that was written. I mean it gives you. The tafsir, all that stuff. It gives you the history of all the hadiths. See, for me, that was for real. That it was a wrap when I studied the hadiths, because that was one of that things, like, the Sahih sound hadiths, Bukhari and Muslim. So, but when I got the actual science of that, I'm talking about from the Orthodox Arabic scholars, they like, you know what I mean? And it's like, wait a minute. Bukhari was really a white Russian guy. And he wrote that stuff over 100 years after Prophet Muhammad. See, I don't look at stuff spooky. I don't look at the messenger teacher spooky, none of that. You know what I mean? So they used to try to come with little bull crap like, that's Prophet Muhammad. He was a drug dealer. Elijah Muhammad got the girls pregnant. And, you know what I mean? But it was like, none of that could rattle me because that never was a issue with me. You know what I mean? It's like you can't knock me off my foundation. You know what I mean? It's like God is God. The messenger is the messenger. You know what I mean? It's like the messenger said about Malcolm running around Egypt slandering. He said when he threw the mud in his eye, he said everybody's like, well, he wiped the mud out of his eye. I was like, he ain't even answer that crap. He's like, you don't respond to that. I mean, I just heard Steve Harvey say something that caught my attention the other day. He broke down how a lion doesn't turn around and respond to a barking dog. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Seriously. You know what I mean? That's the holy crime. Why didn't you think better of your brother? You know what I mean? So you want your opponent to underestimate and doubt you. Let them sleep on you. You know what I mean? Because you know who you are. You know what you could do. You know what you have done. You know what I mean? But that spiritual feud, if you will, had unintended consequences. It got so bad that during the Eid feast, they tried to ostracize me and ban me from speaking at the Eid. Now, I'm the wazir, or the minister of the Nation of Islam. That imam spoke, the white Catholic priest spoke, the white Protestant Christian preacher spoke, the sheikh of the Moorish Science Temple spoke, but they wouldn't let me speak. So now I'm on the tip like, sometimes you gotta show your behind. I mean, so I took the bow tie off. All right, so after taking charge of my post and ultimate property in view, take the mic. I mean, boom, we build it. I get it raw. This the bow tie's off. Now I mean it's on. We go in. So now I didn't realize it. I didn't do it for that reason. I only did it because they didn't let me speak. And it reminded me of when Dr. Martin Luther King had his march on Washington, and all the radical speakers like James Baldwin and all them, they wanted to edit what they was going to say, or they wasn't going to let them speak. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, they ain't going to censor me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So Fruit was like, what's up? You know what I mean? They ain't going to let you get on the roster. I was like, I ain't going to ask them. I'm taking it. What you talking about? I ain't asking them nothing. You know what I mean? So I took the rostrum. You know what I mean? And when I sparked them, the young boys that's sitting in the audience at the tables that got their kufis and their beards is like, huh? You see, one thing about the youth, they know the truth when they hear the truth. So them young boys are like, I'm riding with the fruit. Fruit up. You know what I mean? So they start falling in the Nation of Islam, and it started getting crazy. You know what I mean? You know, like remember, I ain't going to the secret vaults yet, but I told you I'm gonna go in the secret vaults. I probably do it like this winter or something like that there. But I'm gonna go in there and pull this stuff out. Now, when I pull this stuff out, you're gonna see life and death situations, not symbolic stuff. I mean real life and death. You know what I mean? Like I would say hundreds of write-ups and confiscation slips. In the hundreds, to give you an idea of what level the persecution was on. Hundreds of them. Now, I mean, like mass plots to escape, and I mean, the devil is being the devil, if you will. Know what I mean? But it got so bad that they hired this scholar from the East. So he comes over here, and everybody I didn't know who he was, but I could tell he was a big shot. He was one of them. He was somebody important. Because the scholars that I knew, that I respect a lot of these Sunni scholars. They know what I mean? Like, I learned from a lot of Sunni brothers. Know what I mean? Like, they know their stuff. Like, a lot of Sunnis, I ain't gonna say a lot of Sunnis, real Sunnis that study the Quran and the Sunnah, the Salafi, I ain't talking about organized religious Sunnis. It's like organized religious FOI. You got a lot of spooky fruit. You got a lot of spooky Sunnis. But the Sunnis that know the teachings, they know what they talk about. They don't believe in the law, subhanahu wa ta'ala, as some ghost, spook. They talk of a law, to me, 100% correct. When I talk to Jehovah Witness scholars in there, they knew that Bible and Yahweh, to me, 100% correct. The way they was breaking it down, I had no problem with it whatsoever. They was teaching the same thing, just in a different way. I'll call it the creator. The scientists call it energy. We just call it the mind. I mean, so it's all synonymous. Now, I mean, it's just the same teachings, just on a different vibration, if you will. Know what I mean? But we used to have our little debates about the know what I mean, the feminine part at the end of Allah, the feminine part at the end of Yahweh. See, that's what I was saying about the God and the goddess, the messenger's teacher. See, that's in everything. But a lot of people are caught up under the Eurocentric linear way of thinking. They think everything linear. We think in circular. Everything is 360 degrees. See? The atoms are round. The planet is round. The sun is round. The moon is round. Your blood cells are round. The sperm is round. The egg is round. Your brain cell. Everything operates in 360 degrees. That's just the way the black man set this thing up. You know what I mean? So they all start coming around. And that became a problem to the 10%ers, the rich, the ones with the money, the ones that had positions and influence. They like, yo, this is like Malcolm. That's too much power one black man I had. So they was coming at me. It wasn't nothing new, but it got to the point that when that scholar came in there, we up in there, me, Rashid, shout out to F.A. Rashid was there, Khalid was there, Raheem, Daryl X. Dolan was there, brother, so many brother. Badi was there. I mean, Salaam, from Pittsburgh. I mean, LA. So we all up in this joint. So we like, at this time, we vegetarians. We eat 1 meal a day. We vicious workout boys. We go to school. We do law. We, militant. We with the teachers. We just soldiering, but we also knew the messenger teachings. You know what I mean? So when he come in, the first thing he did was he told the brothers, he's like, Steph law. Everybody turned around. The way he said it's real loud, like, who this? They're like, brothers, y'all facing the wrong Qibla. That's not the direct. The Qibla is this way. So the Sunnis like, alhamdulillah. So they turned around, faced that joint. So Fruit looked at me. I'm like, I don't know what he talking about. No, keep in mind, the messenger teach us. The messenger gave us a new Qibla. Like Muslims face the east. The messenger teach us. No, we face the west. You know what I mean? So we had our own thing going on. You know what I mean? But we knew how to face the east to make prayer. But our things, we ride with the Elijah Muhammad. We ain't riding with no other nothing. I mean, we don't care what book, scholar, Imam, Sheikh, Rabbi, whatever you want to call it. It's like, all right, you be your way, we be ours. The Holy Quran says, say, O disbelievers, I worship not that spooky stuff that you worship, nor do you worship Hua, him, he, the black man, whom we worship. Nor do we want to worship that crazy, spooky stuff that you worship. Nor do you want to worship him whom we worship. Do you be your way, me be mine. Now, when we finished making prayer, he said, Salaam alaikum. Alaikum salam rahmatullah. He's like, who's the Aki in the back? So I ain't know he was talking. We just sitting on the floor and everything. So then he's like, oh, that's brother Minister Ali. It's like, minister? He's like, excuse me, brother, let me ask you something. Like, yes, sir. Why you didn't face the Qibla that I instructed y'all to face? I was like, because I'm a student father of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, yeah, but if the sun is setting in that direction, don't you think that's the wrong direction? You know, man, he trying to front on me. I mean, so I got to front back. Like, well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that sun is 93 million miles away from the planet Earth, 150 million kilometers. It's 2,679,785 miles circumference, 850,000 miles diameter, 426,500 miles of radius, 14,000. I give him the whole science of the sun, Al Shams. I mean, so I give him the whole science of the sun. So he like, whoa, who the F is this? In Arabic, the whole, I give him the Al Shams, I hit the whole Quran surah on him, hit the Arabic on him. I mean, like, come on, man, stay in your lane. You know what I mean? So he started laughing. So we looking at him, and he explained to everybody. He said, brothers, I intentionally gave y'all the wrong Qibla because I wanted to see how easy it would be to mislead y'all. He said, your common sense let you know what direction was east and west, north and south. But because you looked at me as being an authority, you ignored what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instilled in you, your common sense, and followed me to the wrong direction. May Allah forgive you for your sins. And I was like, I like this guy. You know what I mean? Long story short, so me and him hit it off after that. I'm like, okay, he think outside the box. I like that. You know what I mean? So we used to call me as all we busted up. And it was cool for like 2 years. But then in the third year, he had to leave, and they brought in this super slave E-man from West Africa. Oh, my goodness. At the time, I think this is around 89 or something like that, 90. At the time, Minister Farrakhan is like the black Hitler in the United States. They hated Khan. The streets love Khan. This was Farrakhan, the fire Khan. Know what I mean? This was not Farrakhan. This was fire Khan. Know what I mean? This was that boy. Like, you put him on Nightline, Phil Donahue, out in front of 3 people, 30,000 people, he gonna spark them. I ain't talking about the nation. I'm talking about white people, Chinese people, Sunnis, gay, straight, old, young, rich, poor. He just, I mean, Allah just blessed him like that. He had that, and he still got it. He's older now, of course, you know what I mean? But it's hard for the younger ones to understand how we got to that million-man march. I mean, but, so things was cool, but then when the black dude came from West Africa, he was on some other stuff. Like, I really didn't like this dude. So he basically called me in the office one day. He basically was like, Brother Minister Ali, you have to stop teaching that Allah came to personal master Fard Muhammad and that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is his prophet. So I don't teach Elijah Muhammad as his prophet. I mean, the Quran teaches that prophet is a Nabi. We believe that Prophet Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, peace be upon him, he's the Katim, that he's the seal of the prophets. The Holy Quran teaches every nation gets a messenger or a Rasul. We believe that Elijah Muhammad is our Rasul. He's our messenger. And that the Rasul speaks the language of his or her people. So the Elijah Muhammad is in accord with the Kitab. What is you talking about? So he's like, oh, this guy. You know what I mean? So I wasn't saying to be smart, but it came off like I was trying to be smart. But I really wasn't. I mean, I wasn't trying to be fictitious. I just was basically letting them know, like, we're not trying to be disrespectful. We're trying to work in unities, like, because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you got Sunni, Shia, Ahmadiyya, Hanafi, you got all these different methods, different schools of Islamic thought outside the Nation of Islam. Long for why is the Sufis? You got all, so why is we a problem? But then it dawns on me, oh, we teaching the lost. Man, we teaching white man the devil. We teaching heaven and hell is here on earth. Okay. Now I mean, so he had problems with certain things. He was getting my literature that I didn't know. He was getting my newsletters. We had put out this newsletter. We had all kinds of newsletters, but he had a problem with the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? So it got to the bullet point where he basically told us, he's like, well, look, this is what we going to do. If y'all don't stop teaching that Allah came to person master for Muhammad, we're going to stop giving y'all the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. So, me being me, at that time, under those circumstances, I took it as a threat. So, if there's no peace between us, what you saying is war? I'm ready to set it off now. That's how we rock. Like, right in your mouth. What's up? They like, no, I'm saying, we just ain't giving y'all the greet. We can't give y'all the greetings because y'all not real Muslims. True Muslims don't believe Allah came in a person and boo, man. So I'm like trying to like get reason with him. Like the Holy Quran teaches, you can't say that someone is not a Muslim. You don't know what's in their heart. I mean, my iman, my faith could be purer than yours. I believe in one creator. I believe in Prophet Muhammad. I believe in the Quran. I believe in, the Torah, the Septuagint, the Vulgate, the Sanskrit, the Bible. It's like, boom. But he wasn't trying to hear that. So when I see he really wasn't trying to hear that, I really wasn't trying to hear it. I mean, when I try to be a brother and we're taught in our lessons to be humble, submissive, and somebody just trying to be arrogant and disrespectful, now it's like, it is what it is. I mean, like you want to go there, we can go there. You know what I mean? So it just was a thing where we left on some bad standard. You know what I mean? You know, it was like it was tension in the air. You know what I mean? So the fruit was like, bro, they not greeting us. No, like you say, like keep in mind, you got fruit that's in cells with Sunnis. That's like they homies. I mean, you know, so you had brothers that was like sincere Sunnis, and they like, man, fuck that shit, man. Salaam alaikum. I mean, we like certain Sunnis, we work together, we joke around. So it's like they basically like, man, we're black men from the hood. We in the penitentiary. You know what I mean? I'm not. They let nobody come in here and separate me from my brother. So they was that conscious, and that became a problem in their ranks because they thought that they had some organized religious fanatics when they was like, oh, they Muslim, they real Muslims. You know what I mean? They worship no one but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't worship the Imam. I mean, they don't worship the Sharif staff and all. They respect them, and you know what I mean? But it's like you're telling them the Quran teaches that, you're supposed to get agreed. They don't care who